ਕਿਰਪਾ ਆਪ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ may they bless us to go through some of the Bani that is blessed to us by Dhan Guru Ramdas ji Paatshah ji and by Guru Arjan Dev ji Paatshah ji those ਬਾਣੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਰੱਖਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇਸ ਆਨੰਦ ਕਾਰਜ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ those ਬਾਣੀਆਂ that related and have a link with this ceremony of Anand Karaj. Guru Ramdas ji Paatshah ji on Ang 773 in Suhi Rag bless us with a Shabad which is known to be called the Kurmaee Shabad. And in that Shabad there's 3 pauriyan. The second pauri of that Shabad, the second pauri of that Shabad is that Shabad that is sang during the day of that Kurmaee. Guru Ramdas ji bless us with the words of Sat Santokh Kar Pao Kurmaee Aya Balram Jiyo Sant Jana Kar Mel Gurbani Gavaya Balram Jiyo. This is the Shabad that is sang during that time of Kurmaee. And literally, what does the Akhri Arth, what does Kurmaee mean? Kurmaee just means engagement. To engage 2 people together, to bring 2 people together. That's what Kurmaee means. And whose job is it to do that, of bringing these 2 people together? Guru Ramdas ji Paatshah is telling us how it used to happen. Not necessarily the way it happens today, but Guru Ramdas ji Paatshah ji tell us about how it did used to happen, how an engagement used to take place. And often the way we see it happen today, when somebody does a Kurmaee, when 2 people are chosen to get married, and you'll often see that the girl side, the bride side will go to the groom side, to the Singh side, and they will take presents, and the girl won't actually go with them. And what's the tradition behind that? Jadon Kurmaee paun jande ne, so the engagement that takes place. Why is it now that when we see this ceremony taking place, why is it that the girl isn't there? If we look at our Kal Takht Rehat Maryada as well, just to clarify that as well. In the Rehat Maryada, in the Kal Takht Rehat Maryada, say this ceremony, the Kurmaee ceremony, the engagement, they're saying it's not compulsory to actually do. They're saying so it's an option to do the Kurmaee. It doesn't actually have to be done. It doesn't mean that if the Kurmaee isn't done, it doesn't mean that the Karaj of Anand Karaj is any less. That doesn't mean it's not complete, that there's anything missing. If somebody decides not to do it, it's not a problem. But if somebody is going to do it, what's the Gurmat way that it should be done? That's the most important part that we need to look at. But just before we look at the actual ceremony, how it takes place, but if we just look at the Shabad itself. Sadhguru Ji Paatshah is saying that Kurmaee Aya Balaram Jiyo. They're talking about a Kurum. Kurum actually is referring to the father of the bride to be. So the girl's father. That's who the Kurum actually is. And over in this Shabad they're saying that the girl's father is the one that is actually carrying out the engagement. Why is Sadhguru Ji saying this? Because even though during time of Guru Nanak Paatshah Ji, that it was actually the Pandits, it was the Brahmins that used to organize and go and find. A father would go to a Pandit and say, now my daughter is of an age to find someone to get married to. She needs to find someone to get married to. The father would approach a Pandit. That Pandit then will go out trying to look for a right match, a good match. And in Bani, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paatshah tell us of this as well. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paatshah, they say that kar paar, that what the Pandit does, the Pandit takes paar meaning he takes money. So he fixes a price to do this job, to go and find a match for his daughter. Kar paar kare vyaho, le paar kare vyaho. And so Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paatshah is saying that le paar, he takes the money, and then what does he do? Then he gets two people married. But before he does that, he goes and finds that husband to be as well for that daughter. The father would have trust in that Pandit. Why? Because a family would have a local Pandit that they would go to for all their ceremonies that they need to do for their household. So that trust was put into a Pandit. But before that Pandits used to go out, before the Brahmins used to go out and find a match for that village's daughter, the way it used to be done before, as it's saying in the Shabad, the way it used to be done was the father himself. So the girl's father himself used to go out to find a match for his daughter. Because who is better than the actual father himself that has so much love for his daughter? Who better than that father himself to go and find someone for his daughter? So that father would go out to find someone. So Guru Sikh Pyare over here, this Shabad is saying that Kurmaee Aya Balaram Jiyo, and that father would go out, the father of the daughter would go out, Kurmaee, and he would actually, as soon as he found someone that matched for his daughter, he would go village to village, he would talk to people, he'll talk to Rishtedar, to his relatives, jithe koi oh poch pehla paunde sige, and wherever they would say, they would go out to find someone. And then, as he found that perfect match for his daughter, he would actually do the engagement himself on his own. He might have taken somebody with him whilst he's traveling to go and find someone. But as he found someone, that father has found someone, Kurmaee, he'd do the Kurmaee. He would actually give some mithai, give something sweet. He'd maybe have a little token as well. A little token, or maybe a little present, to say na eh hun rishta pakka ho gaya hai. So it's not that the girl and boy would meet. The father would go out, he'd find a perfect match, and he'd give the mithai, do everything himself, and that's it, the marriage would be fixed. So the father would go out himself and do this. That's why in the Shabad it says Kurmaee Aya Balaram Jiyo, he goes out and does all of this job. But what is this Shabad saying to us? And then if that's how it used to be done, then it got changed. Then it got changed to the Pandits to doing this job. The father would give money to the Pandit would go and find a match. But these Pandits and Brahmins weren't always doing a good job. Why? Because they were getting greedy. And because they were getting greedy, sometimes they'd go and do a match and they wouldn't even do a good match. And as things changed, and as you know how things happen today as well, how people find a match for each other. But if we look at this on a Gurmat base, if somebody is ready, because we know that's not the way it really happens, it's not often, should I say, it happens that way now. So he says the same concept of what we call today as arranged marriage. Of the parents telling the relatives, now we're looking for someone, and everybody keeps an eye out when they know that their child is of an age to get married. So is that concept at them days, they would actually go out themselves. Remember, there's no telephones, even letters, it would take so long, so a father would go out traveling himself. And then now that concept changed a little bit to that arranged marriage. People would just ask around when they'd go to a program or something. But what's the Gurmat way of doing this? Because we know, what we've got to try and do is be realistic about these things. We can't kid ourselves and we can't pretend that these things aren't happening. We can't pretend that even Amritaris aren't going out and finding their own partners. We can't pretend that even some Amritaris, we can't say that they're not having relationships out there. That doesn't make it right, but that doesn't mean that it's not happening, and we can't turn a blind eye to that as well. Even though Bhai Gurdas ji has said that Dekh paraiyan changiyan maawa bhena dhiyan jane. Even though Bhai Gurdas ji has said this, that even though Bhai Gurdas ji has turned around and said that Dekh paraiyan changiyan, that you are to look at paraiyan as others, as other women, Dekh paraiyan changiyan with a good eye. Maawa, as those that are older than you see them to be like your mothers, mama, pehna. Those that are the same age, to be like your sisters, mama, pehna, tiyan, jane. Those that are younger than you, to be like your daughters. But even still, even though Bhai Gurdas ji has clarified this, and I'm not going to go into this too much because I want to try and get through as much as I can today. And we can go through that. That's covered in Gurbani, in Guru Granth Sahib Ji Paatshah's Bani, in Bhai Gurdas Ji's Wara. That's covered in Dasam Granth Bani as well. Whichever angle, whichever we want to take reference from, it's covered. But it's happening. Those relationships are taking place. Even those that are trying to follow Gurmat, even those that are actually Amritari, it happens. So, what's a realistic step to take about this when somebody does want to get married and they're of an age? Gursikh Pyaro, the first thing that we should always do, we should turn to Dhan Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Paatshah Ji when we want to do something in our life. Jo de bhi kuch sikhne karna ya, Dhan Guru Granth Sahib Ji Paatshah Ji to puchhਣ to bagair kadi bhi nahi koi kaam karna. So we are never to do anything without asking Guru Granth Sahib Ji Paatshah Ji. So the first thing, if we want to remain in Gurmat and somebody is trying to look for a partner, the first thing that they should do, whether it be with their parents, whether it be on their own accord, take a hukmnama. That's the first step. Without doing anything else, people. As soon as that thought is there, that maybe, okay, now I'm at an age of getting married. Even if it's not the thought that maybe I'm at an age of getting married, if somebody's trying to follow Gurmat, but maybe they have some sort of, something comes up in their mind. Maybe somebody falls for someone. Because this is Gursikh Pyaro, it's very rare that somebody reaches that stage in their life where Guru Sahib Ji talks about that Ram Ras Piyare, Jeh Ras Bisar Gaye Ras, or Sadhguru Ji Paatshah Ji talk about that there is a state that you can reach where that Ram Ras Piyare, when you drink that ras, when you drink that juice, that what's this juice that Sadhguru Ji talk about? That juice is formed when somebody falls in love with Waheguru Ji, when somebody japs Waheguru Ji's name so much that there's something produced through that name. They're saying Waheguru Ji's name so much that there's this juice inside of them that's produced. That juice is Gursikh Pyaro, something starts feeling sweet inside of them, that connection that they have towards Waheguru Ji. Sadhguru Ji says once somebody gets that feeling inside of them when they're reciting God's name, they're saying Jehe Ras, when they get that ultimate Ras in their life, that pleasure in their life for God's name, can they Bisar Gaye Ras, or they're saying what will happen at that point is, can they Bisar Gaye, they will lose all other pleasures in life. But there's very few people that have reached that state in their life. We know that even Amritaris, they haven't reached that Maharas that Sadhguru Ji Paatshah Ji is talking about. That when Sadhguru Ji Paatshah Ji talk about, and they say Bikhe Banfika Tyagri Sakhiye Naam Maharas Piyo. Sadhguru Ji says that this is Maharas. That ras that you produce from jumping Naam, that is Maharas, meaning the mother of all pleasures. Even Guru Ramdas Ji Paatshah says Jitne ras anras hum dekhe sab titne feek fikane. They said all the pleasures that I saw in my life previously, they said I realize now they are anras. They are tasteless. Kende har ka naam amrit ras chakhiya. Kende now that I have got that amrit ras inside, when I've tasted that amrit, that something sweet, that sweet nectar that is formed through japping naam, kende har ka naam amrit ras chakhiya. Mil sat gur meet ras gane. Kende when I met the true Guru, jadon main Satguru nu jadon milya Guru Ramdas Ji Paatshah Ji कहने, when I met Guru Amar Das Ji, Guru Ramdas Ji saying mil sat gur meet ras gane. Kende just like somebody gets that pleasure when they take a ganna. Kende jadon koi ganna choopda, kende jehda ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਉਸ ਸਮੇਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਰਸ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਨਾ, ਅਸਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੁਰੂ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਧੰਨ ਗੁਰੂ ਅਮਰਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਨੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਨਾ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਰਸ ਆਇਆ ਉਦੋਂ। ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਰਸ ਆਂਦਾ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਗੰਨਾ ਚੂਪ ਕਰਕੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਉਹ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਰਸ ਆਇਆ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਧੰਨ ਗੁਰੂ ਅਮਰਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਿਆ। So Gursikh Pyaro, but we know that's very few people that reach that state. So we've got to be realistic. We know that aam karke jera gurmat de rao par vi chalan wala, that person that is walking upon the path of gurmat, they do have thoughts. And sometimes people do start thinking of the opposite gender. But Gursikh pyaro, je ta apa gurmat de rao par challe ya na, fir us samay upar takde jarur ho ke ta jarur hukamnama jarur lena. If we are walking upon the path of gurmat, then at that point, make your mind strong and take a hukamanama and saying, Sadhguruji, this is how I'm feeling. Sadhguruji, I'm going to first put this, I'm going to throw this at you, Pachaji, what I'm feeling. So first of all, take a hukamanama if somebody does on an individual base feel like that. And then never keep that thought to yourself. Never think, I'm going to now pursue this. I'm going to do this, do something about this myself. Kadi vi na Gursikh pyaro, eh na kite kadam kadi vi nahi chakana. Never take that step to think that, okay, maybe I'm falling for this person. If you want to remain, if you want to take the kushi of Guruji, then never pursue and never approach that person yourself. Then once you've taken hukamnama, then you get some Gurmukh pyare involved. Those that are the beloveds of Satguruji Pacha, those that you know that have good knowledge of Gurbani, then approach those Gursikhs that have good knowledge of Gurbani and then go through that hukamnama. Go through that hukamnama and tell them what you're feeling. And then Gursikh pyareo, and that Gurmukh pyare will become your mediator and then will become in the middle. And then see if it's actually, if it's a good match, because they will know Guru's Bani so well. They will take both gun, they'll take both qualities from each side and weigh you up if it's going to be a good match according to Gurmat and see what the Hukamnama is saying. And then they will do whatever they need to do next, whether it mean approaching the families or then whatever steps that need to be taken. Kadi bhi aap nahi eh karj apne aap te nahi hai chakana. So that's the recommended way of doing it, the Gurmat way. Get Sangat involved, never try to do it on your own. Always take a Hukamnama. So moving on, that's the way to do it. So we know now it's not compulsory, this doesn't have to be done. I've seen sometimes a Kurmaee is done on the actual wedding day itself. To be honest, that doesn't make much sense. Because once that's the day of the marriage, what's the point of getting engaged on the same day as you're about to get married in the next 5 minutes? So it doesn't actually make sense. Why do people do that? People do that because they don't understand what it actually is. They just think it's another ritual that we have to do this. They think it's a part of the wedding. If we don't do this, then koi kami and then we've missed out something. No. It actually just means the two people coming together. And what should happen at Kurmaee? Kurmaee should be very simple. Don't quote this from me to say that Baljit Singh is trying to change the maryada here and I'm trying to put new ideas in your mind. But because it's not compulsory, there wouldn't be any harm if somebody did want to do this engagement, then for even the girl and the boy to be there at the same time. Why wouldn't this be such a bad idea? Because if we look at the history, it's not as if the father goes out and looking now for that girl. He doesn't end up and then he finds a family and then he just gives that mitta straight away because they live so far. We know that's not the way it's being done today. So if it's going to be arranged, I can't see any harm in the girl and the boy being there at the same time. And then all that should be actually done. What should be given? Not hundreds of pounds. None of that needs to be done. It needs to be very simple. You just a token, even if you give £1. And that's all that needs to be given. And then in the choli of the Singh, a sarbalo kirpan. So you put a kirpan that is made out of sarbalo into the girl side, will put a kirpan in the boy's choli and they can put a sarbalo kada as well. And then either the Granthi Singh can read the Shabad that Sat Santo Kar Pao Kodam Kurmaee Aya Balram Jiyo Sant Jana Kar Mel Gurbani Gavaya Balram Jiyo. We're going to go through this Shabad as well. And then Guru Sahib Ji will give a Hukmanama. And officially then they are saying now, we are going to get married and Satguruji, we've taken Satguruji's blessings and then we can start thinking about dates as well. Whenever a Gursikh is going to think about dates, there's never to think that we need to go to a Pandit or we need to look at a particular date because a particular date is going to be bad luck or anything. No, it doesn't matter. Whatever convenient date for both families, that's it. You don't have to think about anything else behind it. And then Gursikh Pyareo, and a Kurmaee is as simple as that really. It's putting a kirpan, a kada in the choli of the Singh and Hukamnama is taken, Ardas is done, the Shabd can be sang or read from a Maharaji Sajuri. And that's a Kurmaee done. It's a simple engagement in the presence of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Paatshah Ji. But what do we see nowadays? A lot of things that are becoming empty rituals. And nowadays it becomes about pleasing people and doing what everybody else is doing. And because everybody else walks in with about 10 people with about 10 baskets of fruit all decorated with bows on there, people think that's the only way to do a kurmaee. People think you have to have so much mishriyan, badam in there and you have to have shuare. Actually, if you will read some of our maryadas, it actually says not to use, never to, you don't put a shwara in the Singh's mouth. That is not Gurmat. That's actually anti-Gurmat to do that. If you read the Maryada that's written in Gurbani part Darpan by Baba Gurbachan Singh Ji Khalsa, they will write against all of these things. So that's not Gurmat to put ashwara, to put dates in the Singh's mouth. There's no need to even put the mittha in the Singh's mouth in the presence of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Paatshah Ji. It's simple. So if we look at the Shabad and what's happening today, people are bringing these baskets full of fruit. People are bringing now these baskets full of badam, full of mishri and everything else. And Guru Sikh Pyaro, we know nowadays how many people are going to actually consume and eat those things. A lot of those things, because they bought in so much quantity, go to waste. ਜਦੋਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਕਿ ਗੁਰ ਸਿੱਖੋ ਕਿ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਗੋਲਕ ਗਰੀਬ ਦਾ ਮੁੱਖ ਆ, ਤਾਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਇੰਨੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਗੋਲਕ ਆ ਨਾ, so the golak of the guru is the greeb's mukh, that when you put food into a greeb's mouth, and why are we wasting so much food? Why are we giving to people that have got everything? It becomes this competition. ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ 100 pound ਝੋਲੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾਇਆ, and then it just becomes, then they put it back in their ਝੋਲੀ. There's no sense in what happens in weddings today. There's so much exchange of money, so much exchange of gifts. Instead, when there's so many people out there, that Guru Sikh Pyaro, how many people actually need their bodies covered because they have no clothes to cover this body, but we're giving people clothes that have got everything, and most of the time, because it's a gift, they're not going to even wear it and it'll just go to waste. Why are we doing what everybody else is doing? Why are we bringing in these baskets full, decorating and spending so much money on these things? And ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਕਹੀਏ ਆਪਾਂ ਗਰੀਬ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਵੰਡ ਦਈਏ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ, ਕੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਣ ਦੀ ਇੰਨੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ, ਇਹ ਵੇਸਟ ਸਮਾਂ ਜਾਣੀਆਂ, ਉਹ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਜਵਾਬ ਇਹ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਦਿੰਨੇ ਆ, we can never give them enough. Has poverty finished out there? ਆਪਾਂ ਮੁਕਾ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਉੱਥੇ? Have we brought an end to poverty? So how can we say we've given enough? We can never give enough. ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਯਾਦ ਰੱਖਣੀ ਆ, ਕੋਈ ਜਦੋਂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਆ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ 10ਵਾਂ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਮੇਰੀ ਕਮਾਈ ਦਾ ਦਿਨਾ ਆ, ਨਹੀਂ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਪਿਆਰੋ, ਕਦੀ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਐਵੇਂ ਦੇਖਣਾ. Some people say I give 10% of my earning. No, never to look at it like that. Always think, look how much pity my guru takes on me. My guru gives me 90% and he only keeps 10% back. That's how to look at it. ਇੱਦਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਵੇਖਣਾ ਕਿ ਮੇਰਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਮੇਰੇ ਤੇ ਇੰਨਾ ਤਰਸ ਖਾਂਦਾ ਆ ਕਿ ਗੁਰੂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਉਹਦਾ 9ਵਾਂ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਦੇ ਕੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਤਨਖਾਹ ਦਾ, ਉਸ ਤਨਖਾਹ ਦਾ 9ਵਾਂ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਿੰਦਾ, ਇੰਨਾ ਤਰਸ ਖਾਂਦਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਤੇ ਤਾਂ ਕੇਵਲ 10ਵਾਂ ਰੱਖਦਾ ਆ ਗੁਰੂ. That's how to look at it. So we can never give enough out there. So we got to think about these things that are happening and taking place. We need to break away from these rituals. And what surprises me is even nowadays youth, they get stuck in this as well. They're a part of it. They're making these baskets and doing and taking part and spending so much time in these empty things. These youth that are padhe likhe, that have got so much intelligence, they're drowning as well. They're falling in that same pit. How are we going to break away from this system? Guru Sikh Pyaro जिन्होंने किरपाना पाइयां घट तो घट ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਟੁੱਟਣ ਇਸ ਕੰਮਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਘਟ ਤੋਂ ਘਟ. ਜੇ ਉਹਨੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਟੁੱਟਣਾ ਫਿਰ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਨਿਆਰਾ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ? ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਿੱਖ ਪਿਆਰੋ ਐਵੇਂ ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ. Nowadays even sometimes things like this happen. ਕਈ ਸਿੰਘ ਪੁੱਛਦੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ, ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਧਾਰੀ ਪੁੱਛ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਆ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਮਾਈਆਂ ਲਾਉਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀਆਂ. They'll say, do we need to put that yellow stuff on us? Do we need to do ਮਾਈਆਂ? And some other amritdharis will turn around to say, there's no harm in it. It's just a bit of fun. Guru Sikh Pyaro, ਫਿਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਨਿਆਰੇ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਹੋ ਗਏ? If we're going to do things, we're going to choose things like that to do a bit of fun. I can think of way better things of doing to have fun. Guru Sikh, I'd rather listen to Kirtan, go to Kirtan Darbar, to have all my family rub yellow stuff all over me. Guru Sikh Pyaro, we need to break away from Jabala Khalsa, Rehe Nihara. तब लग तेज दियो मैं सारा जब यह गए विपरण की रीत, because असल ਵਿੱਚ all these things are विपरण की रीत. विपरण की रीत means the Brahminic way, that way that the Brahmins have got stuck into. But Satguru ji said कहंदे जब यह गए विपरण की रीत मैं ना करूं इनकी प्रतीत. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Paatshah Ji says I will lose all faith in that Gursikh that follows these ways, that goes into these rituals, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਤੇ ਇਹੋ ਕੁਝ ਮਿਲਾਉਂਦਾ ਆ, that gets the maya malled on them, does what becomes a sheep and does what everybody else does. Guru Gobind Singh Ji says ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਜੀਓ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਬ ਲਗ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਰਹੇ ਨਿਆਰਾ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਿਆਰੇ ਬਣੋ, remain distinct, remain unique, remain like that only lion that is roaring in that jungle. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਬ ਲਗ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਰਹੇ ਨਿਆਰਾ ਤਬ ਲਗ ਤੇਜ ਦਿਓ ਮੈਂ ਸਾਰਾ. ਤਾਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੈਂ ਮੇਰਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਹੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੇਜ ਦੇ ਦੂੰਗਾ. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Paatshah said, I'll give you all my radiance. We don't need any of this yellow stuff to be rubbed on us, and we don't need to do it to our children and siblings as well. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Paatshah says, you remain unique. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Paatshah says, I'll give you my shine. Can anybody have a greater shine than Guru Gobind Singh Ji Paatshah? Paatshah Ji the not ever only my radiance. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Paatshah Ji said, I will give you my power as well. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਤੇਜ ਮੇਰੋ ਕਰਕੇ, the word ਤੇਜ means radiance and it means power. Guru Gobind Singh Ji said all you need to do is remain distinct and not follow these ways, and this is I'll give you my power, I'll give you my radiance. If we look at the Kurmaee Shabad, what's been sang? It's been sang that Sat Santokh Kar Pao, Sat Santokh. It's talking about Santokh. They're saying everything based in this ceremony, everything should be based off Santokh. Santokh means contentment. But most of the time, there's nothing but contentment in these ceremonies. People have got an expectation to receive. People are worried, the ones that are giving, are we giving enough? Guru Sikh Pyaro, I was in India about 4 years ago and I went to Kurmaee. And these are apparently Amritari people that was doing this Kurmaee. I went to the Gurdwara Sahib in Kartarpur Sahib by Jalandhar, and ਉੱਥੇ ਨਾ Kurmaee ਤੇ ਗਏ ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਦੇਖਿਆ, we sitting down, Sadguru Ji Paatshah ਦੀ ਹਜ਼ੂਰੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਬੈਠੇ ਹਾਂ, we sitting in Maharaj's huzuri just like the Sangat is here, and the Shabd is that Sat Santokh Kar Pao, that this relationship should be based, that it's going to be formed now on Santokh, on contentment should be the base of this relationship. But there's one side sitting there in expectation, what are they going to bring us? The other side that is bringing them something, they're worried. Will our daughter be okay in this house? Are we going to be able to give enough? Are we going to be able to please these people? And I couldn't believe my eyes. It wasn't just baskets of fruit and dry fruit that they brought in. But Guru Sikh Pyaro, they actually had, those little wheelies, what they did was they actually wheeled in a big 6-foot fridge into Maharaj's Darbar and put that big fridge and washing machine right in front of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Paatshah Ji. And the Sangat couldn't even have darshan of Maharaj Ji anymore. So we were sat there looking at this big box saying LG, and we couldn't even see Maharaj anymore. Bas aaya Kurmaeyan ajkal. Look, Paatshah is saying that base your Kurmaeyan on Sat and Santokh, on contentment. And what people are doing, bringing these things and showing the world, look what we're doing, look what we're giving. There's nothing but contentment in these places. But look at the Pav, we need to look at the Pav Arth of this Shabad as well. We need to look at the deeper meaning of this Shabad as well. What does it mean spiritually, this Shabad? So now we'll go through this Shabad, the literal translation and something deeper, and hopefully we can gain something. Now when we go to Kurmaee, it'll feel more to us when we hear this Shabad. Now if it is somebody that's sitting here, if it's your own Kurmaee, you'll feel the Kurmaee because you'll connect to the Shabad. Satguru Ji is saying, Sat Santokh Kar Pao. These two things work together, Sat and Santokh. Sat means truthful living. Asal vich, only that person that lives truthfully in their life, only they will reach a state of contentment. We can never feel contentment unless we don't live truthfully. That person that isn't living truthfully can never experience how it feels to be content, because they will always live in anxiety. They will always be worried if somebody's conning the system out there, somebody's not living truthfully. Because that one person that is not living by the truth, Satguru Ji Paatshah is saying, Asank Kudeyar Kude Firahe. What happens, Asank Kudeyar? We read these words every day. And then Satguru Paatshah Ji is saying, Asank, there's many people that Asank Kudeyar, Kudeyar are those people that tell lies, the false people. Kudeyar, kude firahe. Firahe means to go round and round. What happens when somebody tells one lie? Asank kudeyar, kude firahe. Somebody tells a lie and then they have to tell another lie to cover that lie. Another one to cover that lie, and eventually their whole life revolves around lies. Pachaji saying they're just going round in lies. But Pachaji saying, Sat Santokh Kar Pao. Don't be worried. Are we going to be able to please them? Are we going to be able to do this? Sadhguru is saying, don't worry about any of these things, because this is Sat Santokh Kar Pao. Because this relationship is all about Pao, is all about love. Where there is love, it's unconditional. There is no expectation. It's expectation that ruins our relationships. When everything's based on unconditional love. We shouldn't even have to use this verse to say unconditional. Love is, the meaning of love is pure. Pachaji actually sometimes calls love rang. And this is rang hasse, rang rove, chup pi kar jahe parwah nahi kise keri baaj sache na. Sadhguru ji Pachaji says that rang hasse, even when we laugh, we should laugh in God's color, meaning in God's love. What does it mean to laugh in God's love? It means that even our laugh should be pure. Our laugh shouldn't be based on somebody's expense where somebody else is feeling low. Love means pure. If our relationship is based on truth, because this is what should hold a relationship. If we're hiding things from each other, that relationship is never going to be successful. Instead, so what should be a base of a relationship with each other should be based on truth. Sat, Santokh, then there'll be contentment. Kar Pao, don't forget. That you need love. Love is that bowl that holds everything together. That panda pao, amrit tit tal. Je apam vich amrit talna hai na. If we're gonna pour amrit into something, we need a bowl. Nahi ta wo amrit sare paase khillar juga. Gursikh pair je apa naam vi japna je amrit naam roop amrit. If we want that naam roop amrit to be able to be contained inside of us, we need a bowl. That bowl is made out of love. Panda pao. ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਭਾਂਡਾ ਬਣਾਉਂਗੇ ਭਾਉ ਦਾ ਨਾ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਦਾ, ਫਿਰ ਹੀ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੱਤ ਵੀ ਟਿਕੂਗਾ, ਤਾਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੰਤੋਖ ਵੀ ਟਿਕੂਗਾ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਾਮ ਵੀ ਟਿਕੂਗਾ। ਨਾਮ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਜਪੀ ਜਾਈਏ, ਪਰ ਜੇ ਨਾਲ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਾ, ਜਿਹਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਆਪਾਂ ਜਪਦੇ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, we haven't got love for whose name we are calling, that means we've got no ਭਾਂਡਾ। ਫਿਰ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਖਿੱਲਰ ਜਾਣਾ। Everything else, if everything is going to go everywhere, we're not going to be able to contain what we're doing. To be able to contain what we're doing, we need to make the bowl of love. Sat Santokh Kar Pao, Kudam Kurmaee Aya Balram Ji Kudam. Now here, who is our true Kudam? What does the father do? The father engages two people, arranges this marriage. Our father, our true father is Guru Granth Sahib Ji Pachaji's Kudam. Our true Kudam. Now think of this as being the soul bride. As a soul bride, we need to engage with Waheguruji, to be merged back with Waheguruji. We need our Kudam Satguruji. Guru Granth Sahib Ji Pachaji is our Kudam. That Kudam that engages us with Waheguruji. And how do we get engaged? Our Guru will fill us. If we walk upon the Guru's path, the Guru ki karda kar, he will fill us with truthfulness. Santokh, he will fill us with contentment. Kar Pao, when we follow our Guru's path, when we follow our Guru's way of life, we'll fall in love. And that's what we need. That's what Guruji gives us to engage us with Waheguruji. That's the Antariv Pav, Arth of this Shabad. That's the internal meaning of this Shabad. Sat Santokh Kar Pao, Kudam Kurmaee Aya Balram Jiyo. Bal means to be a sacrifice. Ram Jiyo. Guru Ramdas Ji Pachaji is saying, I'm a sacrifice to Ram, to Waheguruji, Balram Jiyo. But how does the Guru do this for us? How does Guru Granth Sahib Ji Pachaji do this for us? How does Guru Sahib Ji bless us with Santokh? How does Guruji bless us with truthful living? How does Guruji bless us with love? Where do we get this from? What does Guru give us to get these things? Guru Sahib Ji gives us Sant Jana Kar Mel. Sadhguru Ji Pachaji ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੰਤ ਜਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਮੇਲ ਕਰਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ. Jana means it's plural here. They're not talking about one particular sant. Because some people are in seek of one person, of one sant. And they think if we don't find one particular sant, then we're not going to be able to make it back to Waheguruji. Guru Sahib Ji saying, for you to be able to get these things that you're going to need, that are essential, these three things, Sat, Santokh and Pao, these three things that are essential for you to be able to be engaged with Waheguruji. Engage means to come together, to engage, to meet. For you to meet Waheguruji, Sadhguruji says for you to get these things, where are you going to get these things from? Sadhguruji says, I will give you something. I will give you something that I'm going to give you these things, and those are Sant Jana Kar Mel. Kehne main ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਮੇਲ ਕਰਾਉਂਗਾ ਸੰਤ ਜਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ. Jana means plural, means many. I'll get you to meet those that are humble servants of Waheguruji. Kehne main ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸੰਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੇਲ ਕਰਾ ਦੂੰਗਾ. Those that have become beloveds of Waheguruji, kehne I will get you to meet those. The Guru said, Sant Jana Kar Mel. That can be collective, sangat like we are doing now. We all come together to learn the Guru Sikhya. Sant Jana Kar Mel. What will happen? What will be the nishani? What will be the sign that we actually got to meet the true sants? Those true sants, what will they get us to do? Sant Jana Kar Mel Gurbani Gavaiya Balram Jiyo. O Sato Gurbani Gavaoge. They'll get us to sing Gurbani. The Guru's Bani, those sants that are true, they won't connect us to themselves, but they will connect us to the Guru's Bani. Ye nishani hogi say ek sant di. That's what it means to do Sangat of Sants. That Gurbani Gavaya Balram Jiyo. Can the Kedi Bani Gani? Whose Bani are we going to sing? The Guru's Bani. So we come together in Sangat, and then we help each other to sing the Guru's Bani. This is how to meet Waheguruji, the soul bride, and to have a successful relationship as well. Sant Jana da mel nishani eh hai ke oh sato Gurbani padhaunge. That Bani Gurgai Parmagat Pai. And what will that Bani do to us? It'll take us to a supreme level of consciousness. That Bani Gurgai. If it's sang, if we contemplate on the Guru's word in the right atmosphere, with those that are already in love with the Guru, and then Bani Gurgai Paramagat Pai. Param means supreme state. Apani avastha will go, our state will go into this supreme state. If you want to become Sikhs of anyone, become the Sikh of Dhan Guru Granth Sahib Ji Pacha, because Dhan Guru Granth Sahib Ji Pacha will never let us down. Aap Gurmukhi Sikho, Aap Gurmukhi Padho, Aap Saanj Pao apne Guru de naal. Make that relationship with your Guru yourself. You on a one-to-one base. Some people say, I've heard Katha online where they say that there's no possible way of you understanding Gurbani without a sant in between. Why are they saying that? नहीं तो उन्हां दा नहीं काम चलना गुरसिख प्यारियो नहीं प्यारियो कहते पाके दा देखो सांझ गुरु नाल गुरु अंदरों आप ही कपाट खोल दोगे तो गुरबानी दी समझ भी आऊगी कहते बस तुर के देखो उस राह वाल चरण शरण गुर एक पैंडा जाए चल सतगुर कोट पैंडा आगे हुए लेत है. If you take one step towards learning Gurmukhi, doesn't matter how old you are, you think you've passed it? No, take one step. Once my Guru sees you take one step, once our Guru sees us taking one step, Guru Sikh Pyaro, the Guru will take millions of steps and he will come and receive us and he'll say, Putra, tu madad, you've tried, you've made an effort, tu yatan kita putra, kehne aa main tenu aap tenu leke jana utthe tak. Bas Guru just wants to see an effort from us first. पर जे किते गुरु देखोगे ना कि इन्हें तो पहला एक कदम पट्टिया तो गुरु साहब जी आप लैन आओगे सानू पर कदम पट के तो वेखो गुरबाणी पढ़ के तो देखो किद्दां नहीं समझ आओगी गुरबाणी दी अरदास करो रो cry in front of your Guru say Guru Sahib ji I can't understand what you're saying those tears will become your ardas and the Guru one day the same words that you couldn't understand you'll wake up one morning and you'll understand that same pankti that you couldn't understand because your tears would have become your ardas and the Guru will never not listen to our ardas. We've got to have pain, we've got to have that yearning inside us first. जे किते वो तड़फ होगी ना अंदर तो गुरसिख पैरो के भी नहीं सतगुरु जी पातशाह सानू दात बख्शणगे गुरबाणी समझण वास्ते जरूर बख्शणगे. So Pacha ji saying, Gursikh Pyareo, Bani, Gurgai, that O Bani Ganiya, Jeri Guru Diya Parmagat Pai, I will take us to a supreme level of consciousness and then Satguru Ji Pacha Panch Mile Sohaya, Panch Mile Sohaya. This is what will happen when we focus, our whole focus goes into the Guru's Bani, we're singing with so much love. What will happen? Can the Panch Mile Sohaya, these Panch Mile will come together, Sohaya, and they will start to look beautiful. What does this mean now? Which panch? Which five? Which 5 will come together and start looking beautiful when our mind, our whole focus goes into Gurbani? Our 5 senses. That's the panj. How do our 5 senses start looking beautiful? Have you ever asked that question to yourself? Guru Sahib Ji saying panch mile sohaya. When they start working together, when they all start working together, how do they work together? ਜਦੋਂ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਨਾ ਹੋਣ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ, ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹੀ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਸੀ, ਇਹ ਸੋਹਣੀਆਂ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਲੱਗੂਗੀਆਂ? ਸੋਹਣੀਆਂ ਕਿਹਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਣੀਆਂ? ਆਪਾਂ ਕਿਹਨੂੰ ਸੋਹਣੀਆਂ ਦਿਖਾਉਣੀਆਂ ਇਸ ਅੱਖਾਂ? ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ, ਇਹ ਉਹੀ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਸੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜਨ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਇਹੀ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਸੀਗੀ ਪਰਾਈ ਇਸਤਰੀ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖਦੀਆਂ ਸੀ। ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ, ਇਹੀ ਹੁਣ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਪਰਾਈ ਇਸਤਰੀ ਵੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇਖਦੀਆਂ। ਅੱਖਾਂ ਉਹੀ ਨੇ, ਪਰ ਹੁਣ ਇਸ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਾਣੀ ਪੈ ਗਿਆ। ਇਸ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੁਣ ਉਹ ਬਾਣੀ ਰੂਪ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਪੈ ਗਿਆ। Because now that Bani has gone into these eyes, those same eyes that used to see, used to be looking upon the beauty of another, but those same eyes now have got Gurbani inside them. Now they're looking at that same woman, but now those eyes are looking at a sister. Before, those eyes were looking at the beauty of another's body, but now those same eyes, when they have Gurbani inside of them, now they see that to be a sister. And that's how these eyes become beautiful. Because then when my Guru looks into these eyes, he'll see what these eyes are seeing. The Guru will see, the Guru will say, हाँ पुत्रा, ਹੁਣ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤੇਰੀਆਂ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਸੋਹਣੀਆਂ ਲੱਗਦੀਆਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਪੁੱਤਰ, ਹੁਣ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਤੇਰੇ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੇਖਦਾ ਨਾ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦਿਸਦਾ ਕਿ ਤੇਰੀਆਂ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਕੇਵਲ ਇੱਕ ਭੈਣ ਦੇਖਦੀ ਆ। Because now the Guru then will say, oh my son, your eyes look so beautiful to me now. Because those eyes now, because they've got Bani in them, now those eyes are seeing a sister with those same eyes. That's how Gursikh Pyaro Panch Mile Sohaya. So then the same process for all the senses, for these hands, touch, for these ears as well. Panch Mile Sohaya. What happened when this starts happening? What will we lose out of our life? We'll start to lose certain things that were inside of us before this. Gaya Karod. Sadhguru Ji Paatshah Ji saying we'll start to lose growth from inside of us. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਬਸ ਕ੍ਰੋਧ ਵਰਗੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਾਣ ਲੱਗ ਪੂਗੀਆਂ। ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੁਣ ਕ੍ਰੋਧ ਵੀ ਗਿਆ। ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕ੍ਰੋਧ is leaving us from inside now. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਗਿਆ ਕ੍ਰੋਧ ਮਮਤਾ ਤਨ ਨਾਠੀ। ਕ੍ਰੋਧ meaning anger. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ things like krodh will start to leave our body. When we connect ourselves to Gurbani, what's one of the things that start to bring, what's a downfall in a relationship? It's krodh. When one person out of that relationship can't control their anger, gaya krodh mamta tan nathi. Gaya krodh mamta tan nathi. Nathi means run away. Kende mamta, what's mamta? Mamta means when somebody feels meri meri. When somebody feels this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. That possessiveness. When somebody feels no, this is my wife, when you feel that you possess that person, it's not a relationship based on love then, because love is free. There's no pain in love. Love is beautiful. Love is like that bird that is flying with its wings completely open. But Gursikh Pyar, that mera, that mamata, that possessiveness, that's being trapped. And when you feel possessed over somebody, when you feel this is my property to that person, Guru Sahib Ji saying, that's when it's going to go downhill. Paatshah se mero sabo kahte hai, hit se badyo cheet. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Paatshah Ji's Bani, to go into these pangtiyan, the concepts are very deep, we haven't got much time. But Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Paatshah Ji saying, kende mero sabo kahte hai, kende mero, kende sare kende ya, eh mera, they feel this is mine, they feel this is mine. Kende mero sabo kahte hit seo bandyo cheet. Kende my consciousness is bonded by what? By hit meaning attachment. So our consciousness should be bound by Guru Shabad, but instead it's bound by attachment, mero. Whenever we feel possessed that we own that partner that we're about to marry, that relationship will never work. It's going to be based on Sat Santokh Pao. That's the only time it's going to work. Sadhguru Ji Paatshah Ji saying as well, kende kahnge Paatshah Ji kende gaya krodh mamata tan nathi. Remember, these are the same thing of what we need to engage our soul bride with, our husband Lord with, Waheguru Ji as well. And this is what Guruji shows us how to do this. Guruji gives us satsang. Through satsang we connect to Gurbani. Through Gurbani we lose krodh. We have the punch looking beautiful to the Guru like we went through. And then Guru Sikh Pyareo, Gaya Karod Mamata Tan Nathi. Pakhand Param Gavaya, Pakhand Param Gavaya. Pakhand means empty rituals. Most of nowadays these ceremonies have become so empty, Guru Sikh Pyareo. No. Make these ceremonies full, meaningful. Pakhand Param Gavaya. Parama means when you're in doubt. Don't let your mind be in doubt. Be firm. Pakhand Param Gavaya. Home Peer Gai Sukh Paya. Arogat Pe Srira. Pachij kehne home Peer Gai. The biggest pain, once we come and meet Satsangat and take Gurbani into our lives, make our senses look beautiful to our Guru, then what will happen? Kehne home Peer Gai. The Guru will take away the biggest pain of our life, which is home. Home is ego. Peer, it's a pain. Pach is saying that home peer gai now. They're saying once this Guru that engages me, my Guru is my mediator that engages me to Waheguruji, and find that Gurmukh in our lives that helps us to find a partner as well. Always have a Guru Dalal in between. Kande home peer gai sukh paya. Only when Guru Sikh Pyareo, when that pain of home ego leaves us, only then we will be able to experience sukh. Sukh means peace. Whilst the ego is there, we will not be able to experience sukh. We will not be able to experience peace. Until that is there, there's no such thing as happiness in our life. Until home remains, we will not know what actual true happiness is. Home peer gai sukh paya. Arogat pe sarira. Arogat pe sarira. Arogat means disease free. Can the Guru Sahib Ji saying even our body will become disease free. Our body will become disease free when the ego leaves us. How does our body become disease free? Because Guru Sikh Pyareo, those people that are so engrossed in certain pleasures in their life, it's a disease as well. ਕਈਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਜੀਭ ਦੇ ਚਸਕੇ ਲੱਗੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਨੇ ਲੱਭ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਖਿਆ. Guru Sahib Ji Pacha used the shabd called lab, not lob but lab. Those that have got always, their tongue is running their mind. The tongue is telling them, this is what I want to eat, even though that thing might be so bad for them. Don't think, मैं भी नहीं हो जिया चीज़ां तो हले बचे हैं. गुरु सिख पैरों सतगुरु जी कृपा ही करन. ये तो कोई बात सकदा जे बाली कृपा हो जाए. Sadhguru Ji is saying that even your body will become disease free. You won't have these habits that make us drown. These same habits, because of the taste of our tongue, because of the pleasure of this 10 centimeter tongue, Guru Sikh Pyaro, people end up diabetic. People end up with heart disease. Why? Just because of this tongue. Because we're so engrossed in the taste of it. But Satguru Ji Pacha is saying that arogat pe sarira, once you lose your ego, even your body will become disease free. Body not meaning physically as well, will save ourselves as well, on a health way as well. But disease free meaning when my body keeps desiring things. And then Guru Sikh Pyaro, the last pankti, remember it's the second pauri of the Shabad on 773 by Guru Ramdas Ji Pacha Ji. And then they say Gur Prasadi Brahma Pashata. Can they remember? You can never do this on your own. You can never recognize your true self. Never can we be home on our own. Because remember, if we try to do it ourselves, we'll have to say I did it. It's the I that we're trying to kill. The I will still have to say I did it. But if we get the Guru's grace, but if we say Gur Prasadi, if we say it was all with the grace of the Guru, I went to the Guru and the Guru got me to recognize that there's Brahm, that I am the form of God. But that's not how Sadhguruji in Gurbani, that's not how Waheguruji wants us to look at it. They're saying that there is that Waheguruji sitting inside of us. That Gur Prasadi Brahm Pashata Nanak Guning Hira. Gur Prasadi Brahm Pashata Nanak Guning Hira. Guru Granth Sahib Ji Pacha Ji's Bani is saying, Guru Sikh Pyaro, that only with the grace, only through the Guru. Grace means through the Guru. That Guru Dware Hoye Soji Paisi. It Dware Toe Hacha Hoisi. That only through the Guru can we recognize that Jot that is inside of us, Guru Sikh Pyaro. And only through then, once we realize that Jot inside of us, that Gur Prasadi Brahm Pashata Nanak Guning Hira Guni, then we will have all those guns, all those virtues, Gihira, Gihira Gursikh Pyareo means something that is very deep. That ocean of virtues is sitting inside of us that we can then contact only through the Guru. So the nishani is, if we want to meet Vaheguruji, the Guru will bless us with Sat Santoka Pao, with truthful living, with contentment, with love. But these things we can only get in Sat Sangat. We can't do it sitting on our own at home. No matter how much part you do sitting at home, it's good. But without Sangat, we can still, there's a danger of falling. Because Bhai Gurdas Ji said that when the Siddhs asked Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha Ji, where do you get your power from? Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha Ji said, my only support in life is Gur, Sangat, Bani Bina, Duji Ot, Nahi Hai Rai. They said, not even a sesame seed's worth other than the Guru's Sangat, and the Guru's Bani. Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, I have no other support, not even a little sesame seeds worth outside of these three things. So only with the support of Sangat that Guru blesses us with, Gursikh Pyareo will be blessed with these virtues that we need to have a successful relationship and to have success to be engaged with Vaheguruji as well.
Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru.